Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to the Dugout Football channel. And it is time for the traditional curtain raiser. Yes, the FE Community Shield tomorrow. Yeah, it has been felt like it has been a very, very long time since we last did a match preview, but here we are. Here we are. I didn't do really the sort of the pre-season. I did a few. I did a few. Let's put it that way. But we are here. It is Crystal Palace against Liverpool. Something I thought I would never say, to say the very, very least. But we do have Crystal Palace against Liverpool preview here. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts about the game tomorrow, and yeah, we'll get stuck into it. And hello to everybody on Twitch as well. We are broadcasting on Twitch, so yeah, say hello. And yeah. There's there's no games being played tonight on Twitch, but as I said, I will be back on Twitch very, very soon. But let us say hello to a few people, and then we will begin this match preview. Good evening, Stephen Dure. I am doing very well, my friend. I hope you are good as well. Rennie's in. Hello, Rennie. I'm good, mate. How are you? Hope you're well. Spannersaurus on Twitch. Hello, mate. How are you doing? How are you doing? Stephen Dure says, can't wait for the Liverpool game tomorrow. No, I can't either. Basically, tomorrow the season starts. The season starts tomorrow. It's as simple as that. I know people will obviously look at the Community Shield as is it a friendly? I suppose it's only a friendly if you lose it. If you lose, it's deemed as a friendly. If you win, then it's a shield at the end of the day. But look, it's going to be a very, very interesting game, to say the very, very least. Rennie says, can't wait for the Leicester City game against Wednesday tomorrow. Yeah, look, that's obviously that's a 4:30 kickoff, isn't it? Is it 4:30 or 4 o'clock? Yeah, that should be a Leicester win. It should be. Whether or not it will be is another matter. But I fully expect Leicester to win that game tomorrow. I really do. Stephen says he's doing good, thanks. Good to see. That was another draw from Motherwell, 0-0. Yeah, Livingston won today, 3-1 against Falkirk, continuing on our recent good run against Falkirk, so I was very, very happy with that. There was never a pen for Rangers. Refs always help them. Dundee were robbed and Wolfie Hall done by. To be honest, now I haven't seen the game. I don't have Premier Sports, so I'm just going to wait until the highlights later on. Also, happy 50th birthday, Sports Scene, as well. Rennie says he's great. Yeah, it's on at 4:30. Yeah, I think the Community Shield is a 3:30 kickoff, I think, tomorrow, if my memory serves me correctly. But anyway, we're here. We are here for the traditional curtain raiser, as I've said. Crystal Palace against Liverpool. Yeah, let's talk about Palace. Last season, I think it's safe to say that they deserved winners of the FA Cup. I think you'd have to say that. I think they were fantastic in the whole competition. I think some of the teams they beat along the way as well, they did very, very well to get into the final. I think they beat Fulham, they beat Aston Villa, and obviously they beat Manchester City in the final. So no, they deserve to win. Deserve to win that final. And yeah, that was their first professional trophy as a football club as well, which is first sort of major trophy as a football club as well, which was absolutely fantastic. So I'm expecting a tough game tomorrow. Palace gave us a tough game on the last day of the season. That was a 1-1 draw. Obviously, it was Ismaila Sarr who scored, which, yeah, like I think the one thing you do about I think the one thing you look at when it's Crystal Palace is that they usually give Liverpool a hard game, and I fully expect that tomorrow. I fully expect that tomorrow. As far as sort of incomings are concerned, there's not been sort of many incomings for Crystal Palace. Only the one major one, I think, is probably Walter Benitez, the second choice goalkeeper, and there's a defender. Um, I can't remember his name. It's the Ajax left back, and I can't remember his name. Bosa, I think is Bosa, something along those lines. So they've brought in two players so far, but I think one thing you can say, they have kept Eberechi Eze, they've kept Jean-Philippe Mateta, they've kept Adam Morton, and at the moment they have kept Mark Guehi. Now, whether or not that changes is another matter altogether. Mark Guehi has 12 months left on his current deal. So will Palace want to, cash in? That's another sort of question you've got to ask yourself. So I'm looking at this game tomorrow and thinking, it's going to be a very, very tough game. Palace have done well recently, and especially at the new Wembley as well. I think they've won 4 out of the last 6 games there. So not going to be an easy game. Not going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. And as I said, they do give us a hard game. They do. They always do give us a hard game. So I'm expecting nothing but the same tomorrow. For sure. Whether or not it's won in sort of 90 minutes or obviously it goes to penalty shootout. I don't think it goes to extra time now. As far as I'm aware. So I don't think it goes to extra time, to say the very, very least. But look, I'm going to say this now. It's going to be a very, very tough game tomorrow. Palace are a really good side. We've seen them already from the games against us last season. It was a 1-0 victory to Liverpool. God rest his soul. Diogo Jota scored the winner at Selhurst Park. And then Mo Salah, who else scored the equaliser in a 1-1 draw. So I think it's going to be a really, really tough game tomorrow. I think it's going to be a very, very tough game. And look, I think it's going to be a very, very difficult one to call because Palace are in pretty, pretty good form. And we'll go through their team very, very shortly. But let me get back into the chat. Yeah, Dougie Donnelly. Yeah, there's a name blast from the past, Niall. There's a blast from the past for sure. Hello, John Conway as well. Hope you're well, mate. How do you feel Jordan Ayew's a number 9? Well, as a striker, or has he got the number 9 shirt? To be honest, I don't really. I've not really seen much today in terms of like new squad numbers or anything like that. So you'll need to let me know. Replacing Jamie Vardy, number 19. Oh, number 9. Oh, Jamie Vardy, number 9. There we go. Hi, Douglas. Hope you're okay. Quiz question: how many Community Shields have we won? That is a very good question. That's a very good question. Is it double figures? I think I want to say 12. I want to say 12 Community Shields. I'm going to go 12. Let me know, Anne. Yeah, thank you for putting me on the spot. I didn't expect that. To say the very, very least. It is 12, right? There you go. So we've won 12. Yes, you know, number 9. Oh, well, there you go then, Rennie. That'll be very, very interesting to say the very least. Yeah, 16 Community Shields we've won. Funnily enough, I did know that the last time we won the Community Shield, the last time we were champions, was 1988. And that was against Wimbledon many, many years ago. So, yeah, this is going to be a very, very interesting game, to say the very, very least. John saying 16 as well. There you go. I did know it was in the double figures, but I couldn't remember what number it was. I guess 12, but wasn't too far out. Let's put it that way. But yeah, as I said, let's go through sort of the Crystal Palace team. Eberechi for me is the danger man tomorrow. I think is the safest thing to say. He has 12 goal involvements in his last 13 games. So he is the man on form. He is the man on form. He is being linked with the move away. But I think if you're Eberechi I think you would want to probably stay at Crystal Palace for maybe one more season. You've obviously got European football. Yes, there's obviously the likes of the Champions League that you look at. But I think when you look at Eberechi he is in the form of his life at the moment. He's been fantastic for Crystal Palace, and I think as well. You look at their whole sort of team. You know, Ismail Assar. He's the scourge of us. He always loves a goal against us. So um, I think both of them will be on fire tomorrow. I really have a feeling that that might be the case. But you look all over their team. Adam Wharton as well. He's a fantastic player. I don't think this game's going to be too soon for Cheik Doucouré because I know he has picked up a setback in his recovery, so I don't think he's going to be fit tomorrow. I think that's the only other injury. I know that Eddie Nketiah is out for a while because he got a really bad injury as well. And look, these injuries can happen when it's pre-season. These injuries can definitely happen when it's pre-season. And you look obviously what's happened in the Club World Cup. Jamal Musiala, Levi Colwill, and Rodri. Rodri's now out again. So these injuries can definitely happen when it is pre-season. But I think we're looking at that, and I'm so happy we weren't in that Club World Cup. Let me just say that. Look, congratulations, Chelsea. You deserve to win. You did deserve to win, but I think it's now kind of showing that it's too many games. It's too many games to say the very very least. So, and yeah, look, Dean Henderson had a very good performance in the final against Manchester City. So that will be something to watch out for as well. So we will see. We will see what will happen. To say at the very very least, I think I'm being raided. Hello guys on Twitch. Um, let me just say hello. Let me just go through the comments in a in a wee minute, and then I'll come to it. Rennie saying, "Do we sign Richard Coney?" There has been rumours about that. Ant says Friday will be the first time since 1990 we walk out as league champions full ground. Yep, it's going to be amazing, amazing day, amazing day. Right, let me just say hello, Rushy. Hello. They call me hello. Guardian, hello. Hello, Cindy. Faith, yeah, I think I have been readed. So, yeah, thank you, Rushy, for the read. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Daz is in as well. Bigger Douglas, do you go strongest 11 tomorrow? I'll get to that. I will get to that. I'm just speaking about Crystal Palace before I got raided. So yeah, thank you, Rushy, for that. Appreciate that. What I will say though, I think the one thing you can say about Crystal Palace is that they have been going really, really well. Basically back to last season. I think the one thing I will say about Crystal Palace though is they are currently in sort of was like a court case for Europa League. I think that's a very unfortunate situation that they've gotten themselves into. The fact that Lyon got relegated, and then they obviously decided to get basically get back into the French league. I think was really sad on their part that they've been sort of reinstated. And now, Crystal Palace have been, demoted to the Conference League, and now obviously they've been in that court case this week to try and sort of clear their name and try and get them back into the Europa League. But whatever European football they have, Crystal Palace, I think they'll be absolutely fine. And I think as well, you look at Crystal Palace as a side. Not many people expected them to win the FA Cup last season. So yeah, look, I hope they get this thing sorted because I think if you look at Crystal Palace in Europa League, that would be fantastic. I think as well you would look at them in the Conference League. That would also be fantastic. Any European football at Selhurst Park is fantastic for Crystal Palace. It really, really is. So that's something to look at for sure. So I am expecting a very, very tough game, as I've said, tomorrow. But as I said, I hope Crystal Palace get that sort of court case behind them, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, that is the Crystal Palace side of things. Yes, expect a very, very tough game. But yes, let's go to Liverpool. Let us go to Liverpool. New look Liverpool, safe to say. I'm looking forward to seeing the new boys tomorrow. I think we'll see Florian Wirtz. I think we'll see Hugo Ekiteke. Frimpong is definitely going to start at right back. I think Slot's already said in his press conference that he's going to start at right back. And I suppose as well, do we see the young lad, Rio Ngumua, who has had a sensational pre-season. He's been unbelievable. Certainly giving Slot a headache as well. And I will say, probably near the end of this stream, I will talk about Alexander Isaac. I think it's probably safe that I do, because I think if we're being honest with ourselves, I think it's quite a situation for them to be in, Newcastle. But anyway, tomorrow, Allison has only had 45 minutes of preseason action. He had had a game against AC Milan, so he was in sort of 45 minutes against AC Milan. Then he didn't play in the Japanese game. He didn't play in any of the Bilbao games, so he has only had 45 minutes sort of action. Obviously, he had to go home because I think his wife had an operation. I think as well. So does Marmadashvili start tomorrow? Because if I'm being honest, if Marmadashvili starts tomorrow, Allison, I think, would probably start against Bournemouth. I think he would probably start against Bournemouth. But then again, Slot might go with Ali. Slot might go with Ali, and then he might go with Marmadashvili against Bournemouth. You just don't know. It's going to be a very, very interesting selection, I think. I know Daz has asked, do we go strong? I think Frimpong will play. I think Frimpong will definitely play. There's already been Slot already said he's going to start at right back. Left back is very interesting. Who do you start? Because I think if we're being honest, I think if Robbo starts, then Kirkes will start at against Bournemouth. I think Kirkes will start against Bournemouth because obviously it's his former club, to say the very, very least. I would also say as well, Van Dijk's going to start. I think it's the safest thing to say. And then Kanate will start tomorrow. I think it's just a case of sort of the midfield now, or sort of the midfield two almost. Alexis McAllister was sort of drafted in against Bilbao. I think he played sort of most of that game. I think it was about 60 minutes. I think he played in that first friendly. He played. I think what we've seen with obviously like Rodri getting injured again, I think they're just trying to nurse him back as not quickly as possible, just sort of nursing him, very, very easing him back in, because I think McAllister had a bad injury last year. He had a bad injury, I think is the safest thing to say. So I don't think Maka starts tomorrow, if I'm being honest. I think he is more likely to probably maybe he doesn't even start against Bournemouth. Maybe he doesn't even start against Palace tomorrow. It's all about easing him back in. all about easing them back in, and I think that's the safest thing to say. So if I was slot, I think the midfield two for me, I think is Grav, and I think Sobel. I think Soboslai will probably start tomorrow in the midfield too, and then across the sort of the three behind Ekateki. I think Ekateki is going to start. Let's be honest. I think Ekateki will start. Sal on the right, Wiertz down the middle, behind the striker, and then do you go with Rio or do you go with Cody? This is the thing. For me, I would go with Rio. Um, but then again, I can understand from starting Gakpo that you bring him off maybe sort of 60 minutes and then bring Rio on to go up against tired legs. You could probably do that. So yeah, I think that could be the case. That could be the case tomorrow. I think you might see Gakpo start, and I think you might see sort of Rio coming on. Now, I think as well it is going to be very interesting to see if Federico Chiesa gets any minutes tomorrow. Because I think with what's happened to obviously the tragic passing of Diogo Jota, let's be honest, I think we have to be reasonable with ourselves. Like Ekateki has replaced Jota. As much as it pains me to say, I do think he has replaced Jota. But I think when you look at what's been being sort of said in the press about Ekateki, Ekateki is a very good striker, for sure. So we can make 6 changes tomorrow. We can make 6 substitutes or 7 substitutes. I think it is. So there will obviously be rotation tomorrow. There will be. You know, as I said, if you win it, then it's a shield for you. But if you lose it, then you'd be like, it's just a shield, and it's just a friendly, and just to sort of get ready for next week. So let me know, guys. Let me know your starting 11. I'll give you mine because I think what's going to happen tomorrow. I think Marmadashvili starts tomorrow, so I'm going to Marmadashvili in goal. Frimpong, Konate, Van Dijk, and Robertson. Grav, Sobo. Then Salah, Wiertz, Cody, and Ekateki. There's my lineup. There's my lineup for tomorrow. Get your lineups in the chat, and I'll go through them very very soon as well. Let us. Where did we get to? Where did we get to? Been saying it for months. Douglas will get bad injuries on the back of non-stop competitive football. They will be done by December. Yeah, 100%, 100%. And it's going to be interesting to see how sort of well Chelsea and City do. Really, that's another matter. That's another matter altogether. So we'll see. We'll see what will happen anyway. Be interesting to see if Guehi plays tomorrow. We are favourites to sign him. Yes, we are favourites to sign him. I mean, you could play Lacroix. You could play Lacroix at centre back. Yeah, you could do that. They could do that. They could easily do that. They could easily do that. Anne says he'd start Rio tomorrow. I would as well, but I kind of like the fact that if we do go strong, we do have players that can come off the bench. We do have players that can come off the bench as well. Hello, Nate. Hello, hope you're well. What's up, Douglas? Hope you're well. Good luck this season. Yeah, and good luck to you guys this season as well. Hope you have a very very good season. Yeah, you couldn't have picked a more better game to start the season tomorrow against Sheffield Wednesday, but there we go. Anne says Ali minimum has to have 45 Mama, 45, because otherwise Marmadashvili won't. That's a good idea, actually. That's a very, very good idea. Um, yeah, the League Cup's this week, isn't it? Tuesday, Wednesday. I've just realised that is the League Cup. Um, yeah, that's a shout. That is a shout. Actually, that is a shout. That is a real shout. For that. Maybe we do see Marmadashvili in Ali tomorrow. Maybe we do. Maybe we see Marmadashvili and maybe Wood. You just you just don't know. But they'll definitely be on the bench anyway. They'll definitely be on the bench. John Sobersley start Friday. Yes, I would imagine so. Because obviously Gravenberg is suspended from his red card against Crystal Palace, but I think it's only one. Is it one game? I think he misses because um, wasn't violent conduct. It was just like a sort of a last man challenge, and yeah, I think he's already on a yellow at that point, but he was given a straight red as well. I have a feeling Verge, Mo, Gakpo just be given 45. I would be happy with that. I really would. Because obviously Virgil van Dijk wasn't involved in the game games against Bilbao, was he? So, um, I suppose you could do that, and then maybe bring Endo on, maybe to sort of shore up at the back. You could easily do that. So yeah, it's will be a very interesting game. Be an interesting game tomorrow. John's going 2-1 to Liverpool. As is Stephen Dewar. Douglas, just seen Livingston are top. Stop the countdown. I know it's crazy. 4 points from 2 games and we're top already. It's crazy. Yeah, stop the count now. Absolutely, I would as well. But I think if we're being honest, it won't last. But it's nice. It's just nice to see us top. It is nice to see us top. It's a good start to the season as well. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. Good evening, Andrew Quinn. Hope you're well, my friend. Our attack is insane. Also, will be even more frightening when we do eventually sign Isak. Also, Leone name was mentioned today by Fab about our interest is getting stronger in him. I have heard about that, and I've seen a few wee clips. He looks a good defender. But, and I will say this now, Italians at Liverpool don't usually work out. That's on caution because of obviously with Aquilani, he was awful. He was awful when we signed him. So yeah, look, I think I have seen his name mentioned, and I think it could be the case for sure. Yeah, one game. Thank you for confirming that. I appreciate that. Rio starts for me. This lad is going to be an absolute breath of fresh air. He is 16 years of age and potentially could become Liverpool's youngest goal scorer if he nets. I think it's before. I read this the other day. If it's before October the 13th, then he will be Liverpool's youngest goal scorer, which is just insane to think about. Insane to think about. But the lad is just on absolute fire at the moment. He's had a fantastic pre-season. Scored against that Japanese side, Yokohama Marinos, and then scored again a fantastic goal against Bilbao as well. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that as well. Tally ho, Gary. Hello. Hugo to Sparkle at Anfield South. I hope so. I really hope so. And Tony Madden. Hello, Tony. How are you? I'm going to the game tomorrow. Can't wait to see how the team sets up. I'm looking forward to that as well. As well. Douglas, what do you think what's happening with Morecambe? Pundits saying today if they had a plastic pitch, wouldn't be in test situation. Do you know what? It's really sad with what's happening in Morecambe right now. First of all, you don't want a club to go out of business. We've obviously seen Berry go out of business. We've seen the old Wimbledon almost like go out of business basically. Um, I don't think if they had a plastic pitch, I don't think I still think they'd probably be in the same situation. Like that owner completely doesn't give a monkey about a monkey's about Morecambe. It's as simple as that. Um, it's just really sad. It's really really sad with what's happening over there. Um, I just hope, and this is just me being sort of thoughtful for like the whole community for like Morecambe and the likes of obviously Berry. I've seen Gretna go under as well. They're- Dunbar nearly went under as well. So there are certain clubs that you look at, and Morecambe obviously being one of them. They slipped into the National League. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to fulfil their fixtures. It's a really really sad case. And then you've obviously got Sheffield Wednesday with what's happening with Chansiri as well. It's just it's just honestly sad. It's a sad situation. Um, and I feel for the people. I feel for the people at Morecambe, especially the whole community as a whole. It's a horrible situation to be in. As I said, I have seen sort of Gretna go under as well. Um, Gretna were riding high. They were doing really really well. And then it's it they were riding high, and then they lost their owner Brooks Milson, who passed away um almost then. So yeah, it's a really really sad situation for Morecambe to be in. It's a really really sad situation for Morecambe to be in, and also it's a sad situation of what's obviously Sheffield Wednesday have been going through as well. So obviously I can only send sort of my heartfelt sort of prayers to Morecambe, and hopefully they get a buyer before the 20th of August. But I don't think the thing about them having a plastic pitch is necessary to be honest with you, and I just don't think that at all. Um, so yeah, it's just crazy what's happening. Um, FC Wimbledon fan was on Sky saying, "If you have the belief, can start again lower down. Look at that." Yeah, yeah. They started lower down, didn't they? They were obviously the famous Wimbledon. They rebranded, and they've managed to do well, haven't they? So yeah, good win for them today as well, I've got to say. Happy Arctic Wolf. Hello, hello, hello. Rio is the best young player ever. Big statement. Big statement, I've got to say. But yeah, Rio is fantastic. But um, he is. Seeing a team in lower league in Scotland fined because it's on a hill. Yes, Bonnyrigg Rose Athletic. They are my local team. I live about 5 minutes from here, from their sort of their ground. I'm just like a 5 minute bus journey there. They're my local team, and they were fined because their pitch was slanted, and they failed like a safety certificate with the ground. So that was very strange, to say the very very least. So yeah, teams can get fined for very very silly things in Scotland. It really is. Yep, absolutely. John's asking, did I get the new Liverpool home kit? Not yet. I will though. I will be getting the new home kit. Probably when I'm next in Liverpool. Well, when that will be is another matter altogether. But I will be getting it, John. I will be getting it very very soon, to say the very very least. So my score prediction tomorrow. I think it'll be a very tight game. There's usually tight games between Crystal Palace and Liverpool, to say the very very least. I'm going to probably go over the chat. I'll go 2-1 Liverpool. I think we've got the firepower there for sure. just as defence I'm a bit worried about. I think Frimpong is absolutely electric as well, and if it's Robo starting, if it's uh, if it's Kirk starting, then support them, support every player that plays in the Liverpool shirt. Obviously, the players have obviously left as well. Luis Diaz, I'm sad to see him go. I think probably many people probably expected him to maybe move on in the summer. Darwin Núñez looks like his move to Al Hilal is all but done now as well. Wish him well. I know it hasn't worked out as well, but the add-ons will eventually, I think, go up to about £61 million, which kind of recruits back a lot of that fee that we paid for him. Tyler Morton as well. He's been a very good servant for Liverpool. I know he's obviously had a few sort of loan deals out at certain clubs as well, but again, very very good servant for Liverpool, and he will be missed. And again, there's other players that could potentially be going out the door. I mean, as I said, Chiesa, there's still talk that he wants to go back to Italy. Harvey Elliott, there seems to be talk about him potentially moving on. Um, there's definitely still a few players that could possibly move on. I think Tsimikas will probably be moving on very soon as well, because I don't think you can keep three left backs. I think is quite the safest thing to say there. And there is even talk that Kumas might be going to Wrexham, which would be a very good move for him. Would be a very, very good move. They were unlucky against Southampton today. But no, look, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting game tomorrow. But I'm hoping that we win tomorrow. So I'm going 2 on Liverpool. Goal scorers, I'll go Eze for Palace because he just is on fire at the moment. I would be no surprised if he scored, or Sarr for Palace. And as far as Liverpool concerned, I'm gonna go Wirtz to score, and I am gonna go for a goal from the captain. I'm gonna go Virgil van Dijk to score from a corner. So that is my prediction as well. So that's the match preview done. But it would not be silly of me to basically discuss what has been happening today regarding Alexander Isak. And obviously this week, it's funny how a Newcastle journalist comes out and says Alexander Isak has been told he's no going anywhere. And basically Newcastle blocked his move to Liverpool. For then Eddie Howe to say, "Oh no, hang on, no, we are not in a position to say whether he will be staying, or we're not in a position to sort of decide whether he goes or stays." So Luke Edwards, that Newcastle journalist, who, let's be honest, is an absolute mare this whole summer. Anything he has reported on, it has came back as absolute rubbish. Now, obviously, we have David Ornstein, obviously Fabrizio Romano. Newcastle fans, look, I am a fan. I am a fan of Newcastle for what they did last season. They deserve to beat us in the final for sure. But some of their fans on social media, especially the ones on X, like Arne Slot's press conference yesterday, like they were saying stuff like, "Oh, basically, like Arne Slot said something along the lines of, well, we don't discuss about like other players and that are not ours." For then some Newcastle fans to basically say, "Oh no, you basically pay media pundits and journalists to basically spread out rubbish." Now, honestly, if any Newcastle fan thinks that Arne Slot blooming pays for Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein to basically go and unsettle players, and I'm sorry, you're completely deluded. Now, it's not the best situation to be in for Alexander Isak. He obviously wants out. you know, the fact is that everybody has been, you know, basically rejecting Newcastle, which is not their fault. It's not their fault. Um, they just don't seem to want to play for Eddie Howe. I don't know what it is, but and this is the big thing. Since Amanda Staveley left, hold on a minute. Sorry, I'm sorry. Nathan's a bit upset. But yeah, as I was saying, Alexander Isak is in a position where you basically look at what has been happening with what's been happening in Newcastle. Didn't get Sesko, didn't get Mbeumo. They certainly didn't get um, Sesko as well. They were in Vervissa. Looks like they're probably in for Kolomuani, but I think that's been kind of like sort of turned down in the media ever so slightly. I have nothing but respect for Newcastle fans. The ones that I speak to on a regular occurrence, I have all respect for them. But there is something clearly wrong that's happening in Newcastle right now that Alexander Isak wants out. And that is the one thing you look at. I don't think Alexander Isak at this moment in time wants to stay in Newcastle. I don't. And if he wants out, he wants out. Now it's no good keeping an unhappy player at the club. There's certainly not an unhappy player to stay at the club. Like what Coutinho did to go to Barcelona. So yeah, look, I think it's a very unfortunate situation for them to be in, but I think what we'll say, I don't think Alexander Isak is a Liverpool player before the game with us. I'll say that now. I think Isak gets done. I think Isak gets done probably by the end of the.
Can you please bring it down a wee bit?
Yes.
Because he's awake.
Sorry about that. Isak will not be a Liverpool player until after the time we play him. I think it's probably going to be done by the end of the window. Also, what I will say as well, I think that we get at least one or two centre backs before the window's over. So, yeah, I think it will happen. I think it will happen, and I would not be surprised if it didn't. If it didn't happen, I think Isak will sign for Liverpool very very soon, for sure. So, I would say that. So, yeah. Right. Let me go up the chat and see what you guys have been saying. I know that because I watch Footy Away Days, goes all around Scotland, lower leagues, supports Celtic Hearts. Yep. AFC always, hello, big up. Hope you and the family are well, my friend. Yes, we're very well, thank you. Isa will be a Liverpool player for sure, hopefully. Isa wants out of Newcastle, yeah, of course he does. Some of them think there are rivals genuinely. Yeah, I know. That's mental. Newcastle are looking at 3 strikers at the moment. This just shows they're ready for Isak to go. Yep. Happy birthday, AFC always. My birthday today, me and the missus and kids flying off to Cyprus week on Monday, switching off from Arsenal. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, the majority of Newcastle supporters good, honest, working class football support, but sadly social media is vile sometimes, and there's a lot of opposition supporters from other teams weighing in. It's Howe who's basically told him doesn't want him training with the squad. Yep. Happy birthday. Pretty sure Gordon kicked off to move to them. I'm pretty sure he did. Stephen Davis, thank you for the birthday wishes. Much appreciated, bro. It's all got a bit messy. I've never seen the like of it. Arse Chelsea are petrified of this deal going through. I think everyone is, to be honest. Apparently starting to get their squad. Tony, cheers, bro. Honeymoon's over. I've been married 3 years, so yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Unfortunately, Oasis are playing at Murrayfield, and you can actually hear them there. So I think it's woken Nathan up. So yeah, I think it's done before that game. Too much of a distraction. Yeah, I think it's done as well for sure. But guys, going to leave it there. Thank you everyone who has tuned in. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in on Twitch as well. And yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm going to Liverpool to win the match by 2-1, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you very, very soon. Maybe a match reaction tomorrow. Maybe not decided yet, but we'll see what happens after the game tomorrow. But look, enjoy the game tomorrow. If we win, we win. If we lose, then we lose. It's just at the end of the day, it's a shield. It's not. It's not important anyway. But it does sort of get you the sort of the curtain raiser for sure. Northred says, I'm keen for the Isaac deal, but as a priority, we must get Guihi done. I agree with that, definitely. Great stream, Douglas, thank you very much. And I have UB40 playing out my back. Well, there you go. UB40 or Oasis. Who would you prefer? To say the very least. But guys, going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. And as I said, I'll be back very, very soon. Take care. Bye bye for now. You'll never walk alone. Cheers, Reds.